didn't know I was bringing copies, but I may have missed it.
You emailed Haley, said, Haley, please make copy for Wednesday night's board meeting. Do we have that?
I do not have it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not having it. It's clearly my bad.
I'm just trying to pull it up on this.
Somehow or another, the ball got dropped on our part.
Or are they some, I mean,
I don't believe I have copies.
All right. If we don't mind me, do you want me to read it? Crowd? Anyone? Say yes or no?
If I step out,
I don't know what, we don't
Yeah,
have it, so we don't have any other option. I don't know what you're.
Yeah,
I didn't know. I'm like, I got the teacher voice, but if you want it for about 5 minutes, you're gonna get it. That's what I was looking at. So the resolution is support of Pride Month. The resolution to declare the support of lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning students and families. Whereas the Grandview Hts School District strives to model and promote inclusive and respectful treatment for all. And whereas many school districts support changes to ensure schools are safer and more supportive of LGBTQI+ students, families, staff, and whereas the district is committed to maintaining safe, healthy, welcoming learning environments for all members in our community, including the LGBTQI+ community. Whereas significantly higher rates of school dropout, academic failure, school disengagement among LGBTQI+ youth across the country are often attributed to peer harassment and bullying. Whereas by recognizing Pride Month, we affirm supportive school environments substantially improve mental health and school engagement of LGBTQI+ students. Whereas no one should ever be the target of bullying, harassment, or violence, and we're almost there. Whereas on June 26, 2015, same-sex marriage in the U.S. State of Ohio is legal under the U.S. Supreme Court ruling of Obergefell versus Hodges, I didn't get that last name right, and a landmark decision in which the court struck down Ohio's statutory and constitutional bans on the issuance of marriage licenses, issuance of marriage license to same-sex couples, affirm the rights of all citizens to marry whom they choose, and whereas the first gay pride march was held in June 1970 to commemorate the Stonewall riots, whereas the celebration of Pride Month is rooted in the history of resistance and the struggle for equal rights as guaranteed by the U.S. Constitution, and whereas by recognizing Pride Month, we support policies, practices, and curriculum that honor, respect LGBTQI+ students, staff, and families, and whereas we support the promotion, creation of safe, inclusive learning environments for all in efforts of the district to maximize and personalize learning for all students by affirming our commitment to a supportive learning environment that promotes trust, growth, achievement for all students, and do I read that now, therefore be resolved? Okay, and now therefore it be resolved that the Grandview Hts School Board declares June 2019 as Pride Month and encourages the superintendent and all district staff to stand with our community while supporting and ensuring our schools are safe and supportive of LGBTQI+ students, family, and staff. Did you all get that? Okay. What? I can. Don't do that to me, Mrs. Old. So, this resolution, personally, I feel that this is something for our board to stand in community with. The city council last year passed a resolution to support Ohio's anti-discrimination laws that include sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression. They passed that last year in June 2018. Our public library actively promotes diversity and inclusion in the community. I felt our community is an inclusive community. The school is very reflective of its community. We do a lot of things together. This is something that we can do to stand as a partner with our communities. The other thing that it's important to recognize is from the Human Rights Commission, 77% of LGBTQ teenagers surveyed feel depressed or down. We've got 95% of LGBTQ youth report trouble sleeping at night. You've got only 26% of students say they feel safe in the classroom, and just 5% of them say that their teachers and school staff are supportive of them. And this is
national.
yeah, this is from that, and then this is from the CDC. 10% were threatened or injured with a weapon. 34% were bullied on school property. 28% are bullied electronically. It's from the CDC. There's just for a statistic, bullied on school property was 33% of it, and cyberbullied was 27% versus heterosexual peers were 17% and 13% respectively. It's about 10% up for the LGBT students as opposed to their heterosexual counterparts. Things that schools can do to support these, encourage all students, and prohibit bullying, identify safe spaces, and schools that have GSA programs report a third less instances as opposed to other schools. And this is coming from the CDC, the last set of statistics. This is a group of students in our schools nationwide that gets bullied. They experience higher rates of depression than other students. In my mind, this is not political, this is protection and education of our students. If there is a student group that is they don't feel welcome in our schools, we can't educate them, we can't support them, we can't move forward. To me, this is something that I feel is necessary. I don't feel it's political. I feel this is the care and education of our students. And that was very quick. This is one of the most important things we'll do. And this is a population that nationally, the suicide, every single rate, suicide ideation, bullying, being attacked, it's higher. So I feel that as a school board, we should stand up and say no matter what your orientation is, gender, when you come into our school buildings, you are protected and you are supported, and our number one job is education. And we're gonna create a safe space for it to be. And that's that. I do have an odd request, which might not be in protocol, Mr. Truitt. There are students here who I think might have missed the queue on public comment. If I could give them some time to speak. I don't know if I'm out of turn or
No,
not.
please.
If you would like to speak, I feel that I might know that they have something to say.
So I wrote something to say. I don't actually have it with me, but I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Liz McDermott. I'm currently a junior, and I was recently elected a couple weeks ago as our third official Gender Sexuality Alliance president, starting next year. And I have with me my social media director, Signy Slaughter, my secretary, Caroline Kale, and my vice president, Audra Nail, here to support. And I just wanted to say that hearing the support, this is a pretty supportive school district. I'm very lucky to go to a school that I feel as if the students here are fairly supportive. I'm lucky to be in that 26% that feel that they are pretty safe within schools. And it's lovely to get that support from students, but it means so much more to get that support from not only my teachers, but the parents in the district and the school board and just the members of the community that are here. And they're saying, we hear you, we understand you, and we're gonna stand by you. It's not just the kids who are hearing this issue, but it's also the adults in the room. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to Molly and the rest of the school board for giving us this opportunity to make this something where not only can we have this in the high school, but we can have this in the lower schools as well. Because while it's obviously very safe in the high school, it wasn't really talked about in my experience in the middle school or elementary school. I've gone here my whole life, and coming into freshman year and finding out that the GSA was a thing was like the first time that it was ever like LGBTQ rights were ever publicly talked about within school. So I think this is a great way to at least start bringing in that conversation into the younger students and introducing that to them early on, so that we can keep up that tradition of being a really safe and supportive school district. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you for your comments, appreciate that.
I read, I think it was yesterday, it's a 13-year-old boy in a southern state committed suicide because he was bullied for his gender. He was an out homosexual student. He got bullied in school. We live in a great community. We're all supportive. We work together with the facilities, with the city, library, everything. I think this is one more thing that we can do to stand with our community and to support our students. I'm done.
Well, I want to thank you for bringing up the topic, good forum to discuss. Thank you to the students for coming here. I think the real benefit to the high school community as a whole for the GSA. My daughter was actually one of the founding people. I think it's a great legacy to see it keep going. And I'm very proud of some of the actions with the school support for that as well. Very interested to hear what you're saying about maybe thinking about at younger levels. What is the what would be helpful to spread that message of inclusion, and ninth grade is probably too late to start talking about things, and so I don't know what the right policy is and all that, but I hear what you're saying, and I think appreciate the thought there. So I want to say, just as a personal, that I personally support the goals. I'm appreciative of you, Molly, for bringing it up. I have a little bit of concern about acting as a board, going down a path of where we want to proclaim months and that sort of thing. I think it's very helpful to bring up forums, and I think to me it makes a lot of difference that this is your personal initiative to say this is important to me. Let's bring it up, and I like this as a forum, as a board. If there are other opportunities, and I also would want to be very attuned to actions, whether it's support of a club or a sponsor, or if there's something in our policy or anti-bullying that we can do as a school district. I want to be very open to that as well.
I would suggest that you do a deep dive into our non-discrimination policy, because I think you'll find sexual orientation in there, but you won't find gender expression or gender identity. So I think policy is something that we really can impact. I too agree with Eric about going down the path of who are we going to spend every month on a different cause, and I don't think that is appropriate for the Board of Education, because we're stretched so thin dealing with business and finance matters and matters of policy, that going down a road where every month, where do we draw the line of the time that we're allocating toward. There's a lot of different groups who could come in here and want the board to make, declare it a certain day or a certain month. And I agree with the content of this, because I believe all students should be respected. And I think that's at the core, whether you're an ethnic minority in our district, which is we are very Caucasian in our district. So there's a lot of different ways to look at this. I see this as an issue of respect, and I think that as a board doing a deep dive into our policy, we're already way more advanced than what's required by Ohio law. This board, I don't know how long ago, wrote sexual orientation into our non-discrimination policy, which is not required under Ohio law. Molly brought that up, but an issue that's been pending is trying to get the Ohio legislature to adopt sexual orientation as a prohibited basis of discrimination in the state of Ohio. It is not passed yet, and so we are not, as a official public body required to include sexual orientation, but our board chose to do that. I don't know when that was, but I would, I know what our non-discrimination policy is at work, and there's a couple other bases we want to look at recommending to be included in that. I think that is a true place, business and finance in the policy world, where the board can make statements or
Yeah, and
take action.
I would say I haven't looked at the policy since they first passed it, but I know Bexley City Schools has some pretty progressive policies around this, their actual, in policy. So I don't know specifically what was in there.
Gender expression and gender identity are the two other bases that are sometimes included in other policies.
And I would say, for right now, how it's written, I understand that there's the deep dive of where do we draw the line. For right now, this is written as June 19th. We do it, if I'm understanding this correct, that month would be, we would celebrate Pride Month. It wouldn't be annual. Am I misunderstanding that? So it would be,
How it's written.
right, so that's how it would be written. I understand you. I see what you're saying. The thing about that is when you see the kids coming into your room and when they know that that's a safe space, it's a difference in education. And I am bringing this personally, the teacher hat's coming right back on. I have kids that come to my room, I have the HRC sticker outside my room, and they're like, I can come and I don't have to talk about it, but I know that I'm myself here. They can tell me they're out, they can tell me they're in. That's a space in the classroom because they don't have it across the school. And it's a different, saying it publicly and saying it out loud. It's saying that you're welcome. It's making that statement. It means a lot to know. I very much respect what you said. Again, sometimes it's hard to, where do you draw the line? I do very much get that. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything else anymore, I promise.
But we have not taken any actions. This meeting. The board is there. Action taken.
Someone help me on the wording. I don't know the wording for how I would say we put forward this resolution to a vote.
You would just
I
make a
think you would
motion.
say to move to approve the resolution. I did that.
Can I move to approve the resolution to support Pride Month
It's presented.
as presented?
Perfect. Is there a second to that motion?
I can't second myself, can I? No?
Well, hearing, if there's no second, there's no vote. Any other comments or discussion?